I'm going to be installing some 1.5-inch wheel spacers that I bought from KSP Motor on Amazon. And these spacers are very nice spacers. Received them in the mail and they're really nice looking once they've been made out of forged aluminum. And they came with great instructions. They came with them, and they're very thorough and very easy to understand. They even give you a pattern on the back on how to tighten lugs depending on how many studs you have. And it even gives you the pounds of a torque that needs to be put on there. And there's a few tools that you'll need to do this job. You'll need the socket in order to tighten up the spacer onto there, because it has open lug nuts that you need to thread down inside the openings to the existing studs on your wheel hub. And then you need a torque wrench set at 85 pounds torque for the 2012 Jeep Wrangler. And then a wire brush to clean off any dirt that might be on the surface, any scaly dirt that needs to be removed. And then I'm using the JB Weld Permalock thread lock, and that will be necessary to maintain the lugs to stay in place to hold your spacer on your hub. So the first thing we need to be doing on here is that we take our wire brush and we make sure that there's no loose debris or scale that would be on this hub anywhere to prevent the spacer from fitting on all the way. Once all that has been cleaned and removed, and also you do need a rubber mallet, it's kind of handy to have that. You take your thread lock, and this one you have to shake up prior to using, and you need to run a small bead across the thread of each stud, and I'm doing it the full length of the stud. That way I'll make sure I got plenty of the lock thread to be going on the lug nut to hold the lug nut in place. And you coat them like that. Once that is done, then you place the spacer over the openings, because there is openings that fit over your studs on your hub, and then you got new studs that the wheel will go on. And like I said earlier, I've already removed the tires, so this will be easier to show you. Once you fit it into place, I've been just taking a mallet and make sure it's setting flat, and I look to the back side to make sure it's seated down tightly. I then take the lugs, open lugs that came with it, and I place each one of those on the studs on the hub. And I just get them started here. Once I get those started, I'll take the socket just by itself and I'll run them down as tight as I can by hand with the socket for the lugs. And then that way, that gets them down to where I don't have to spend a lot of time wrenching them with a wrench. And I do each one of these, and when you do tighten these, and I'm going to show you as I'm tightening these up, you alternate every other lug. That way you're tightening it more uniform and even, and that's the way it talks about it in the instructions that come with these. And I tell you what, these are really nice looking ones. I bought these on Amazon, and I did a lot of looking, and these had the best review on 1.5-inch wheel spacers, because that's all I needed. I just wanted something to widen my tire spacing just a little bit. Doubt if I ever go with a larger tire. I mean, I've got a pretty lucky tire that goes on here anyway to begin with, so I probably won't change anything different. Alright, once I get these snug down by hand, I then take my ratchet wrench and I tighten them just a little bit more by hand. Again, I alternate on the spacing of them, so I'm snugging them down equally all the way around. And once I've done that, then I will use the torque wrench. And I bought this one at the Harbor Freight. They've had them for $20, and I had a coupon the other day, and I got this one for $9.99. Real nice torque wrench. You then place that on each lug, and you push down on it until you hear it click. And that's where it's at 85-pound torque. Again, you rotate between studs so you're evenly tightening it. And you can hear them popping as it gets to the torque that it needs. And then I just go back and just make sure, after I get the last one, that I have got them all properly torqued. Once you have done all 5, of these studs, it is now in place on your hub, and it's ready to have the tar put back in place. The instructions also suggest that after 25 to 50 miles that you should check the torque on these again, and then about a 1,000 or 2,000 mile, then check the torques one more time. Other than that, this is what they look like. I've already got my other 3 on. This is my last one, and I'm ready to get it out on the road and see how it handles. So I hope you find this interesting and helpful, and go to the KSP Motor 1.5 inch wheel spacers on Amazon.com.